Hi everybody, my name is Will Bailey, and what I'm here to talk to you about today is something that I've just kind of been kicking around in my head, something that's going to come from my own experience. My parents, unfortunately, are having to take care of their parents, and I'm kind of seeing the struggles that they're going through with having to find ways to take care of their parents effectively and efficiently. Whether it's trying to find an ambulance provider to take my grandmother from where she lives to my house for a holiday, or someone to take care of my grandmother in her home where she can't necessarily do all of the things that she used to take care of herself. At the same time, you don't want to kind of take her and force her to live either in an assisted living home or somewhere where, I mean, honestly, in my parents' house where they have to kind of stay with her all the time. And so what I kind of envision is a Yelp or something similar, but specifically focused to this kind of elder care market, whereby you could kind of take a swath of the different services, and maybe it's not only a rating system. Maybe it, I'm trying to kind of materialize it in my head to how this would look. So it's not only just a rating system, but a way to kind of help people understand how to get from point zero of, okay, I see my parents getting older, I kind of see this train coming, I don't know how to deal with it, to I now understand not only how to deal with it, but I know the services and products that can really help me get them from this point where I kind of see something's wrong to a point where I know how to take care of them and can really manage this process as they get older. Thinking about things like finding ways to benchmark mental acumen, whether it's leveraging already existing kind of online games. So I played Words with Friends with all my friends. There's no reason I couldn't hook Words with Friends up for my grandmother so she could play it on an iPad or something like that. And I could track her mental acuity by kind of seeing how her score changes over time and understanding by running some simple analytics over that. Is she getting better or worse at the game? At what levels is she kind of dropping down, and kind of figuring out when do I have to start worrying about, is her brain slipping a little bit, or did she just have a bad day and couldn't beat me today, right? And so trying to figure out how you can wrap an ecosystem around this problem that's only going to persist as I get older and my parents get older, and figuring out, is there a way that we can help people kind of manage this kind of crisis that they're dealing with. So that's all I kind of had prepared in 3 seconds I thought of before I came up here. So I kind of open it up to the floor. Interested to hear your ideas, experiences, if anybody's kind of seen something similar or knows of anything that could potentially be adapted, or if you have ideas on how to kind of hone the idea into something that's actually palpable.
So I forgot one point here. This is a small room. Like there's no need to raise your hand. Just start talking. Like we're not in school. So anyway, so I'm actually going to comment on this because I'm a very sad story. My grandmother just passed away about a week and a half ago. It wasn't unexpected. I mean, she'd kind of been in a period of decline anyway. But the family really went through. My mom's her mother. She's one of 5, and they really went through exactly this issue. And what we found out of that was that a couple things. One is that it's not something that anyone wants to think about until you have to think about it. And oftentimes, like, people are in this state of denial about when they have to think about it. So I think your idea of the gaming part is a great idea because it kind of is triggering that, yes, I should think about this before maybe I think I should. And there were, I mean, even up till the end, there were family members that were like, well, she's not that bad yet. And people were like, yeah, she is, kind of thing. So that's a great part. The other thing is that, like, just from a discovery point of view, like, is this something you Google? Is it something that can be tied into like Facebook or something like that? I'd wonder about if there's a smart way to do that.
Right, and from the discovery point of view, you never, it's your parent, it's your grandmother, it's somebody you care deeply about. You don't want to just pick somebody up off of Google and say, okay, or pick somebody out of the Yellow Pages and cross your fingers, right? So Yelp kind of helps you a little bit, but that's not this isn't a space that Yelp's really catered towards, right? Sure. Yelp's going to find you the bar that you want to go to tonight. It's not going to do a really good job of figuring out what ambulance company you can use to take your loved one from point A to point B.
I do have a friend who is doing something similar for families with autistic children. Okay. So it's very much like, and this is in early stages, but I'll try to look up the name for you, where families dealing with autistic children or adults maybe at this stage can rate any level of provider, whether it's like medical, but even just things like my barber is like understands my kid and gets it. So it's like a whole gamut of providers, and it's the same sort of thing, like rating systems, reviews, comments, and you can see like your friends and who they have selected as providers. So that might be a good thing as like an implementation that can move over. So I'll see if I can't find the name of it before we're done.
Will, I like definitely where you are going with the whole gaming aspect, because I remember from recalling just from a lot of things with dementia and also Alzheimer's, they talk about how people that play games or crossword puzzles or engage in these activities, it sharpens the mind and it prevents, it's like prevention for these things of either occurring or getting worse. So I think incorporating the gaming aspect that's a wonderful idea into it, and being able to gauge it. And yeah, no, that's really good.
I see two ideas. No, one idea which is about having a directory more or less of people that can help, ranked, whatever the ranking system is, and the other one is about monitoring how your grandma is going. Right?
Well, I'm sorry.
Yeah, and in the monitoring, here you ask her to do something. Please play or please do that, which is might be easy or not, or she would like to do it. What about adding something passive? A passive monitoring, something that will, for example, analyze patterns on how she lives. How many times she opens the door to the outside, how many times she goes to the restrooms, how many times she opens up the gas to food, and out of this, if you have sensors, you can probably have some trends or patterns, and you can feel like, oh, she's tired today, she woke up late, or she even didn't wake up, or you could have some sort of analysis like this. No?
I think that's a great idea. I think you're kind of carrying around a monitoring device already, so can I leverage the GPS on your phone to do a lot of the monitoring that you're talking about?
No, I'm talking about something in the house.
Okay.
Just sensors seeing.
Would they have to carry something on their person though? Like in order to make that work?
I'm just talking about sensors in the house that will, like the ones that you have for security.
Wow.
When you go into a room, okay, it will count how many times, how long you spend in front of the TV, how many times you turn on the light. Even you
might be a scary number if it's in front of the TV.
But at least it gives you whatever the numbers.
Right.
You can, if she's in good health, you have a certain pattern, and probably if something goes bad, you will certainly see a change. I don't know what, but there must be some signs and some data mining to do on that kind of data, and will certainly help you into without bothering her with or saying please do that or that.
Yeah,
exactly.
I see a way of a possible stream of revenue for you too, and if in the case of if the parents are not living on their own, if they are living within a home or a nursing community, incorporating the tool for the home to actually use and monitor those things. Because I don't know if necessarily it would be you'd be able to implement these devices, or if they would even have the ability to carry a phone around or know about carrying a phone around. But if you have nurses on hand using the tool, implementing the information, it would allow for a more engaged experience with their your parents, so that they can do their own level of monitoring and have a more sense of connection with with your grandmother's experience, or because there is a huge disconnect when your grandparents go off to a home, or I recall my great grandparents or my great grandmother in particular at a nursing home, and other than going to visit her, you really have no connection there. It's not like you call great grandma all the time, and so it's that's really cool. Like to get a more. It makes sense to engage on that level too, through the internet and through a device like that, So that makes a lot of sense. But selling it and working collectively with nursing homes might be a monetary gain right there.
Definitely, I think the kind of appliance idea, the ability to go somewhere and actually install something and have something.
There's a question of how many. I wonder how many sort of people that are senior citizens in that space. Like, what is the total size of the market that might be sort of knowledgeable about how to engage with something electronically like that.
I'm thinking more for, you know, for our parents and kind of building out that type of infrastructure.
So people
the baby boomer generation's already kind of
Gotcha.
reaching that, I think. But my grandmother, you know, uses a cell phone. She uses a computer. She emails me all types of pictures and forwards. And my grandma, it's not 96. She can't just forward things. But it's okay.
Are there any online discussion forums where like this group of people gets together right now to just kind of discuss? Like, I mean, I would imagine like people like your parents that are probably in a difficult situation like this. There's probably lots of other people like this, and there would probably be value just from them getting online and just talking about what their problems are. If there's not something like that, then you know maybe that would be like a real easy starting point, because a discussion forum is not a difficult thing to set up.
Right.
And then once you get all those people talking, they'll probably tell you exactly what they need.
Definitely.
Like they'll tell you exactly like what their problems are and what you could build to help them. And I don't know, just an easy thing. It's maybe get started.
Put it up and see what happens.
Yeah.
Fortunately, that is time, but as I said, if you guys want to follow up with this idea, it will be on our YouTube channel shortly, and we'll probably put it on Started By shortly after that. So, thank you for Will for joining first.